In this lesson, I'm going to show you how to enter your program in the Python Integrated Development Environment, which is called IDLE, of course. And also, I'm going to show you how to use the Python text editor and how to save your program so you can use it for future, and how to run your program after you entered it into the text editor. Let's recall the example program that we had before, and let me put it side by side with the Python IDLE. Entering the program into the Python IDLE is very simple. All you have to do is type everything that you had on your example program exactly on your Python IDLE. So let me do that. Notice that Python didn't do anything when you typed the first 4 lines of your program. However, as soon as you typed the print D statement, Python shows you the value of the identifier D. Now let's convert another temperature from Celsius to Fahrenheit. Let's say I want to convert the 40 degrees Celsius to Fahrenheit. What do I have to do? Well, in this case, I have to retype everything. You immediately notice that it is not very convenient that every time you wanted to convert a new temperature, you have to type the entire program again. So what can we do about this? Very easy. All you have to do is go, click on File, and open the text editor by saying a new file. Python opens the text editor. On the right, I have the Python IDLE, and on the left, I have the Python text editor. So let me type the program again into the text editor. Notice that when you type your program in the text editor, nothing happens and the program does not run by itself, because this is only a text editor and Python is waiting for you to actually run the program by issuing a run command. The first thing you have to do now is to save this file and give it a name. Go to File, click on Save As, and Python opens a dialog box. Go to some folder or directory that you know where it is and you can easily find it later. In this case, I created a folder called CSE1309X. I'm going to name my program something that I can remember later. Let's say convert Celsius to Fahrenheit. And also notice that I have to call the extension py. If you do not name your file with the extension .py, you will not be able to execute it. I'm going to save this, and notice that immediately on the top it tells me the name of the file and also it tells me which directory it is saved. Now to run my file, all I have to do is go on the run command and click on run module. Of course, there is a shortcut, and that is by hitting the F5. So when I click this, notice that the output appears in the Python IDLE. So now I have my program in a text editor, and anytime I run it, its output will appear in the Python IDLE. This time, if I want to change the input temperature to, let's say, 40, all I have to do is change one variable and then go here and say run again or hit F5. Now Python comes back and asks you, do you want to save your new file? The reason it asks you that because you changed your original file from a equal to 20 to a equal 40 and you have not saved it. So you have two choices. Either say OK here, and immediately it will show you that the result of converting 40 degrees Celsius to Fahrenheit is 104 degrees. You also have the option of changing the configuration of Python such that it automatically saves any changes and it doesn't ask you the questions again. To do that, you go to Options, again click on Configure IDLE, click on General, and click here as No Prompt, and apply it and OK. This time, if I change the temperature to anything else, as soon as I hit run, Python automatically saves my file and shows me the result. Let's try that. Let's say 60 degrees Celsius, and I hit F5, and I immediately see that it is equivalent to 140 degrees Fahrenheit. You see, the advantage of having a text editor is, first of all, you save your file so you don't have to type it in the future. And now imagine that in the future you want to run this program again. Let me close everything here. In the future, if I decide to run my program again, I can open the IDLE, click on File, click on Open. Python opens a dialog box. In that dialog box, find your file and click Open. Python opens your file. Now if you want to run it again, go to Run and click Module or hit F5. And the output again appears on the Python IDLE. So in this lesson, learn that you can type the entire program in a text file and then ask Python to run that text file. To do that, you go to Python IDLE, click on File, and then select New File. This will open a text editor in a new window. Type your program in the text editor, and then click on File, then select Save As to save your file. Remember that you must name your file with the extension .py. And finally, you can run your program by selecting Run and then select Run Module, or you can simply hit F5.